What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good day. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a market breakdown. Honestly, just be straightforward with you guys. I did a small trade today. I didn't really feel comfortable with it because when I got in, it was already oversold, and Nasdaq had already pulled back a little, quite a bit, as you guys can see. So I got out pretty fast. That's why I don't really want to say. Now, don't get me wrong. Direction did end up going in my favor very aggressively, which I'm a little upset that I missed out on it. But at the end of the day, it was oversold, and we had already. You know what? I'm actually just going to show you guys. Better yet. But first, because I know this is what everybody cares about, grew my account by a little over 0.5%, 90 cents. So not much. I just did a TQQQ put. But yeah, here we go. So first 15 minutes ended, had a high at 394.15, had a low at 392.58. We got rejected at this 14 level not once, not twice, not three times, but four different times we got rejected until we actually sold off and had a beautiful sell off all the way down to the open range support. And this is actually where we broke below. And just so that I can show you guys why I have the shadow right here, look where buyers stepped in two different times when it went to go break it both times. When it broke it, pushed right back up, closed, pushed right, broke it below, pushed right back up. So that's why I drew that shadow, just to remind myself that is where at 392.46 is where buyers are stepping in. So to be a little bit more cautious. Now, don't get me wrong. I like to always wait for an open, a break, an open, and a pullback as validate it as like a supportive resistance, depending on if I'm going long or short. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. So as you guys can see right here on the 1 minute time frame on QQQ, I didn't really get that pullback to validate it as a new resistance like I really wanted. Honestly, the perfect position would have been right here, and it only touched like 392.35. And I was honestly waiting for it to touch like 40. I really wanted to touch the shadow area, that I considered almost like a new supply zone. So in a way, I was sort of like, not really a supply zone of resistance more than anything. I really wanted it just to retest it and get rejected. And then that's when I was going to really go in on a put. But because it didn't, I let my emotions get the best of me. And I sort of just, yeah, I didn't really get into it, guys. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had a little bit of trouble today executing my trades. But one thing I also do want to show you guys is the reason why I didn't really feel comfortable getting in right here, and why I was like, I need this to retest and I need it to validate as a new resistance. And that's because, look right here, guys. Our last lower low was at 1024. Now pay attention to this real quick. We didn't even make a lower low, and this was all the way at like 1050, about 1049, sorry. So 1049, we actually technically hit a lower high. We didn't hit lower lows. There was no more continuation on the downside. So a part of me was looking at it like this. Okay, we're not hitting lower lows. We got to break it below the EMA, above the EMA for about 3-4 minutes. It treated it as a valid support, as you can see right here on the 1 minute time frame. And then it pushed up, got rejected, broke below the EMA, sold back off. In my eyes at the moment, now take all this and just like throw it away. So let's just do this real quick just to make it easier. It pushes up, breaks above the EMA. Now, I know you guys I know I've said it before. I don't like to solely rely on the EMA, but I do use it as an area of support and resistance sometimes an area as a bounce, a rejection, that kind of stuff. I'm more into breakdowns and breakouts, as you guys can tell by my 15-minute open range strategy. So in a way, I was more looking towards it to break above this new resistance and basically turn it back to old support, and then pull back, retest it, treat it like a new support, and then continue hitting higher highs. Mainly just because of the nice strong rally that we did have when the market opened. that rally ended for about, it only lasted about 7-8 minutes, but we stayed in this range for a while. But yeah, I just really wanted to show you guys why I had such a hard time personally getting in on TQQ puts or QQQ puts, simply because we did start to make a recover. And I was a little bit cautious about, like, okay, we're not hitting lower lows and we break above the EMA and we're starting to hit higher highs. And I just, in a way, I mean, like when you have those 2, 3 things right there, you gotta step back and ask yourself, like, hey, are we starting to recover? Because there's been plenty of times we've seen QQQ recover. I've seen QQQ open down like 1.5% and close only up by like 10% and make a full recovery throughout the day. So in a way, in the back of my head, I really was trying to be cautious. At the end of the day, I was leaning more towards the bears, but because we stopped on the continuation, we stopped hitting lower lows and lower highs. We, you know, it just, we stopped. And then all right here for about 15, 20 minutes, we just held this whole area and did not make any lower lows. But where I did get in though was actually right here. This break, we had a retest, nice little rejection. Sellers pushed it back. Now, like I said, guys, I probably didn't even hold this trade for 30 seconds because, as you guys can see, we were leaning towards the more oversold side. I was trying to be a little bit more cautious. Now, take the mistakes I just made about how I missed a beautiful pullback, how I missed a beautiful retest, and let's look at the 5-minute real quick. If I would have just looked at the 5-minute, guys, I shit you not, I without a doubt could have got in on an amazing pullback. Not because I would have got it right here, but because I would have got it right here. Because look what happened. Look what happened at the same exact time at 11 a.m. on the 5-minute candlestick. Look what happened when it tested that EMA, which was almost exactly at that shadow. Straight rejection. Pushed up. Sellers just pushed her straight back down, and then look what it did. Consolidated for about 5-10 minutes right here, and then just continued to have a beautiful sell-off all the way down to 389.91. That right there is why I am trying to lean more towards the 5-minute time frame when using this 15-minute open range strategy. Simply because at the end of the day, I can zoom out on the 1 minute as much as I want, but sometimes the 5 minutes is going to show me things that I'm not going to see on the 1 minute. So that's one thing that, like, even I can say is like, and one thing I have noticed tremendously is after around 10 to 10:30, the 5-minute is so much more reliable, in my opinion, than the 1 minute. The 1 minute you can get a lot of these little fake out breakouts. You can get like these small little pushes above the EMA, because look at the 1 minute. We had a nice bounce off. We had a nice break above the EMA, and yeah, it did hit a higher high in a way, and start to make a recover, but then it just sold right back off. So it's like if you would have used the 1 minute EMA, the 1 minute time frame to trade, you would have probably got caught. You would have easily got caught in that. And it's understanding. We're not making lower lows. We have a break above the EMA. We're making higher highs. So it all makes sense looking at the 1 minute to go long, right? But then if I would have just looked at the 5-minute for 5 seconds, because around 11 a.m., 11:10 was when I made the trade. If you look at it, I mean, look right here, guys. Beautiful. Well, actually, it was more like 11:15 to 11:30, let's be honest, because it was actually right here when I made the trade. Sorry about that. But now, like, if I would have just looked at the 5-minute and I would have seen this rejection at this 5-minute EMA, dude, that would have been that would have been all the reasoning in the world to go short. But because I was so stuck on the 1 minute today, and it's all I cared about. And now, don't get me wrong, I have 2 computers. I have one computer that has a 1 minute and one computer that has a 5-minute. But I do make all my trades off of the 1 minute. And so that's what I was solely focused on today, was the 1 minute. So in a way, yeah, I did make a little bit of money. And yes, it did go in my favor. I don't want to say this is a win, simply because I could have been easily caught in a long trade, because I really was waiting for it to break above this area, break above, retest, and then bounce off and continue hitting higher highs. But thankfully, I waited saw the rejection, and then by the time I got in, we were already oversold, and I didn't feel comfortable holding the position. And like I said before, the moment you open yourself up, the moment you get into the trade, you're opening yourself up to risk. And there's been times, guys, where I don't feel comfortable. If I step back and I'm like, hey, hold on now, we're oversold. We're technically not making lower lows. You know, we had a valid support right here at around 391.24. I mean, I had pretty good reasons to want to go long. I had it, but like I said, I had like that devil and that angel on my shoulders today, guys. I really wanted to go. I really wanted to go short, but when I saw that we were starting to make a little bit of a recover and we weren't making lower lows and there was no continuation on the downside, I had to be realistic with myself and say, hey, is going short still what you're going to do? Simply because we do have a break of pattern. And that right there is my biggest thing is I don't want to go from I used to be the type of trader that would literally go short, long, short, long, short, long. And I would lose so much money doing that. And I finally realized that like stick with one side until you have that break of pattern. Then when you have that break of pattern and you start to make a recovery, then it's okay to switch to that side. And like today, guys, I had valid reasons why I wanted to go long. And I just, thankfully I did it. Thankfully I trusted my gut and we got rejected and pulled back down. And when we made a lower low, I did go into a TQQ put. But yeah, I really wanted to show you guys this today. It's nothing really, I'm happy about, mainly because I had a lot of indecisions. Like I had a hard time making decisions today on going long or short. I don't know if you guys ever have those troubles. If you guys ever do, please comment below. I love hearing your guys' issues. I love hearing, the things that you guys have learned in the past. I love, interacting with you guys more than anything. When you guys comment on my stuff, I always enjoy actually like getting to like ask you guys questions and talk to you guys, and hear your own opinions. But yeah, and I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, on one hand, I want to look at it like a red day, but then on the other hand, it did go in my favor, and I did wait for a lower low, which does go back to my reasoning. In a way, if I would have just looked at the 5 minute time frame, we would have never technically had. I mean, in a way, we did have a break of pattern. We stopped hitting lower lows, but when we did pull back to the EMA, it did get rejected. So I think one thing I'm going to try to do a little bit more often is rely more on the 5 minute after around 10 to 10:30 a.m. I've noticed that it does tend to give more of a direct direction of the market. Whereas in the 1 minute, as you guys saw, strong pullback, then a little bit of a rally, then another strong pullback. That can be very confusing even to me. And I've just now been trading for a year and a half. So I still got much to learn, guys. This is a journey, and this is why I'm documenting it all and having fun with it and just, going with it. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys this up $118.98. But I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I'm correct, I think the PCE report is at 8:30 a.m. That's going to have a big impact. So I'm going to be curious on how the market opens up. If you guys got any questions, please comment below. I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys have a good day. Be safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow.